Hi, Miriam. I love the red with your blonde hair. Um,
Thank you.
so again, first things first, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for coming across you at the right time because I've given my notice to my regular employer and plan to have my own thing up and running and making money by January.
You guys, let's celebrate the freaking crap out of that. She pulled the trigger, removing her 9 to 5, and is going all out on her own. That's like my goal is to get people out of the 9 to 5s and into this world that we can, as I said last week, it's way easier to make a whole lot of money fast than it is to make a little bit of money slow. And we're going to create that plan for you. So, all right, Miriam, how can we help?
Well, hopefully by me getting into the silver so that I can figure this out.
Oh,
So
you
I
will. Okay, I'm
created,
just going to tell you right now, you're going to save thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars having that immediately in your practice. Like you're going
yeah.
to start off the right way. I wish I did that, 7 years ago, but I
Well,
didn't
and what
know
I've always
GHO
said is
existed.
if I do this, I want to do it right from the beginning and not have
Yeah.
to fail 1,000 times. So this feels like that will help me.
Yes, yes, it will. All right, make sure you get a call with Nicole. Let's get you inside. Okay, so you're going to have 3 programs that are turnkey programs with this fancy boxes that you have access to immediately with the silver program, with all the sales pages, all the email campaigns, everything just done for you. But that said, what are you creating that makes you you?
Yeah, so I work specifically in women's health mostly. And what I want to start with is a focus on like a PCOS program that
Yes.
women, at least the 30-day for sure. I want it to be just a completely DIY, um,
Do it yourself, DIY.
because those that, really want the help will continue into something bigger. And I kind of want to weed those people out, obviously. So
Yeah.
from my previous things that I've already created, I already created a 38-day thing where like the exercise days are literally there, already guided by me by video. So they wouldn't even have to go to a gym. They don't have to buy any equipment to include their exercise. The food plans for a full month already included, shopping list included. So I feel like the easy button has been made as long as people are willing to follow through. What I don't know how to do is there's so many pain points in PCOS. And I think one of the biggest ones is like, the sorrow of not being able to get pregnant right away, or, you know, carrying the extra weight that makes them miss out on things because they don't get involved in things. So there's so many different things that I don't know which one to target and how to word it in a way that gets people to join the 30-day.
When people have metformin, they get diagnosed. When they get diagnosed with PCOS, their treatment option is metformin, correct?
Or spironolactone, pretty much, or birth control pills, which doesn't help if you want to get pregnant.
That's your pain point right there. So metformins, what did you say? Spirulacta? I haven't heard of that one.
Spironolactone.
Spirulactin and then birth
Albac.
control pills. You would say these 3 things are not an answer. I had a
Okay.
PCOS program once, and I always said, um, metformin only addresses 50% of what the problem is,
Mm-hmm.
because you've got this high T sitting over here. That's why you can't lose weight. That's why you look like you do. That's why you're frustrated with your hormones, because your testosterone's so high.
Right.
Metformin can, it claims to fix blood sugar if you want to deal with all the side effects,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
So here's the 30-day program. We're going to balance your blood sugar with this nutrition plan, and call it a nutrition plan. Don't call it a diet. Call it a nutrition
Okay.
plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to lower your testosterone with this supplement regimen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make your program a 6-week program. And
Okay.
the reason why is because I want you to do a 30-day supplement pack in there. You're going to get in silver. So you've got our PCOS. You can go back in the books with it and pull the PCOS one out. But for me, the PCOS one included a blood sugar supplement. So for me, I primarily use systemic formulas and Elementum labs. They have a supplement called Sinulin. It's one of the best balanced blood sugar markers on supplement on the market. Let's see, a lot of people use the same ones I do. And then you're going to want one that lowers testosterone. Mike, do they still have this? Is it still Femicrin or no?
Yeah, well, it's been updated, new name, Hormonegenic. But you're right, Femicrin was the one they've had for a long time. So they just kind of made some shifts to it, some updates, and it's called Hormonegenic.
Okay.
Really cool formula. Yeah.
They've also got two other ones, I think, if I remember right. You're the clinical expert. So if you were to create a PCOS protocol for Miriam real quick, Sinulin, they still call it Sinulin?
Glucogenic.
Glucogenic. Okay, so glucogenic.
Come on, Kylie, get up to speed. What's going on?
This is your job. It's not mine.
You're supposed to have everything memorized.
No.
Yeah.
And then what other? I know they got some biotic ones too. The prebiotics and the pro.
Yes. Yeah. The cool thing about the way they have it set up right now, if you're looking for like a hormonal protocol of anything, such as like PCOS, is that there's the microbiome piece.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just your common typical lactobacillus like probiotics. It's like ones that are really good for a PCOS protocol, ones that are good for the endocrine system, the urogenital tract, if you get really specific. And so you combine that with like the Hormonegenic, that's more herbal, bring them all together, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Of course, still with PCOS, you do need that blood sugar component, like their glucogenic. And then also their, vitamin D still has its place. Methylated B vitamins still have their place. There's these other pieces that still should be there, because when you eliminate those, people have the tendency to drop energy levels, or if they run into like a vitamin D deficiency or a nutrient deficiency, then they wonder why they feel sluggish or they're tired or fatigued. And so you have to remember those things to keep those in place too. Right. So it's kind of still important to keep it simple, but try to, include everything. Anyway.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what I would do, is I would include those, what did you say, 4 or 5 things? That's it. Just 4 or 5 supplements that you're going to include in that 6-week program. The reason why it's 6 week is because it gives you that 2-week buffer to ship those 4 weeks of supplements. And then what I love to do is I love to take the supplements away.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. I felt so good on that stuff. Give it back to me. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now you create a 90-day, or you create membership or whatever the heck. Like if you had a membership community for PCOS and infertility, oh my gosh, that could be a freaking goldmine.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And then you're DIYing it. So you've got the nutrition piece. Are you going to do you already have the portal. We can put that inside your portal for silver. Okay. And everything will just be easily accessible in their portal. What you could do is you could print out hard copies of the nutrition guide and send it to them. But I don't think you need to do that, because people with PCOS, they're, of my age versus someone who needs the hand copy in their 50s or 60s kind of thing.
Right.
Hey, I'm excited for you, Miriam.
Thank you.
PCOS is your one thing, and holy smokes, it is needed.
Yes. You
can channel them into like the whole body healing, and then into your membership. Like there's a whole bunch of different options we can do. But your 30-day, start with that, and then we'll create some lead magnets with you to fuel the chain. And it can just keep fueling. Get them into that. It's going to be between a $500 and $1,000 ticket. And then from there, they get to go up, because, if someone's trying to get pregnant, they're dropping $25K, $30K, $50K even. I cringe when I hear people like the IVF stories. Like, oh my gosh, if you only knew that there were so many different ways you could go.
I know. and so
Okay.
much easier on your body.
All right, Miriam's going to change the world. PCOS. Thanks, Miriam. Maya. I'm told you're next. Hi, Maya. How are you? What are you grateful for?
I am grateful for the sunshine. I'm in Buffalo, New York.
You're in Buffalo, New York?
Mm.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
All right, Maya, what are you creating?
Okay, so I've been looking into the 30-day program. We discussed last time that I provide care for like gut, immune, and metabolic. But we talked about maybe like niching down to like bloating in general, or the heartburn for the refugee community. And my website is now built in a way just like being trying to be very comprehensive. So my first question is, should I do my website redo just focusing on like bloating? And then how do I really connect to the immune part too? Because the part of program is I am really addressing the gut and the immune aspect and the metabolic too. And the program is like very good, like it's very result oriented. Of course, I need like marketing and other helps. But yeah, I wanted to, understand your thoughts on how do I present as in the website.
I would say something like, I serve the Polynesian community and I help you overcome pesky gut symptoms like bloating, diarrhea, and constipation.
Okay.
And then what I would continue with that is, that's the pain, right? I want to know what the pain beneath the pain is. So I would say, I help you finish ... or I help you heal those three things. And then you're going to finish it with, so you can go to the football, what did we talk about? Tailgating parties. So you can have the big Sunday night dinners with your family and not regret it for the next 3 days. So you can, does that make sense?
Right. But then how do I, because, I also help with the autoimmune issues. So how I'm wondering like if there is a way that I could talk about that as well, or because part of my care is also autoimmune issues.
Okay. So on your website, if you go to your website, here, I'll pull up mine. That's my blood work one. Oh, this one might even need fine tuning. I don't know yet. So I got, the big pain here. Diagnosis or not, your answers can be found inside your normal blood work. You just need the right person reading it. But this is where you talk about what you do. So like we specialize in 4 different programs. Technically 3. But it's fine. Kind of got rid of the whole body weight release one. But your biggest thing is identify who the person is. If you keep getting told your blood work is normal, yet you feel like crap, this is for you. And then you can expand upon how you help. Do you want the short-term 30-day thing? Do you want the 90-day thing? Do you want to work with me one-on-one? So those would basically be your 3 options. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. How I have set up is like, okay, 3 months and 6 months.
Uh-huh.
That's how I've set up for now. But as far as like saying that, hey, this is one thing I do, I have not been able to do so far. I'm just saying, optimizing, blah, 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 all of those things. Okay. So I guess I'll have to work on that. My other thing
You
is
have
like,
a 3-month program already and a 6-month program already. I would create something more short term and give them an introduction to what it is that you do. And that's what your short term really is. Like somebody who's been so accustomed to Western medicine, you got to tell me how are the Polynesians typically open to alternative care, or are they more Western medicine people?
more alternative, but they wouldn't invest a lot of money. So that's the thing.
Yeah. So you want to create group programs for them. And then maybe have like a VIP option okay, if you don't want to do the 6-month group program, here's a VIP where you can meet with me, 3 times throughout the 6 months. But that low ticket membership or the low ticket 30-day or the low ticket, 5-day even. Like, hey, here's 5 steps to overcome bloating and diarrhea and constipation in the next 5 days. Or improve upon it. I don't know if you're going to solve it in 5 days, but improve it, right? Or you can say, I'm going to teach you based upon your blood work, what's really causing your bloating, your constipation, and your diarrhea. And then you get into the 5 differential markers. And that's like your free workshop that you get to introduce to them. Oh, there's your 5 markers, but there's more to it inside your blood work. So then you can teach them a 10-day blood work course, something like that. But just something with that gives them some concrete knowledge, which then says, oh, now I get why she's doing the 3-month and the 6-month, because this is what my markers say. Just something a little bit more that leads into the bigger ticket, the bigger timeline ones.
Even with the pricing, just for 30 days, I was thinking something for 30 days. We start with the agent community. What would be your price tag? I mean, given that they're not going to spend 1,500 or even 1,000. But I'm going to do like workshop every week and be there as coaching and Q&A session too, while after I do the presentation with a group of people.
Okay. Can you do something where it's educational, where you're teaching them and make it like $250 for 30 days?
Okay.
Even 200, they make it 197. 197 is a very easy price tag for people to join in on.
And then, you mentioned a few days ago that
are the Polynesians on Facebook. I feel like that.
They are. And TikTok, which I don't use, but yeah, Facebook, TikTok.
What if you created a paid Facebook group? Okay, hear me out. I think this is a really good idea for you. It's a paid Facebook group. Think about it as like a membership, where it's $47 to join inside your Facebook group a month. Or they can they can get the entire year of your Facebook group for like $397. Okay. Inside that Facebook group is where you get to do the education, where you get to do the training. I go live once a week inside this group. And by the time you're in it for 12 months, you're going to understand exactly what your blood work says. Because remember, we got to have a promise. This isn't just a paid Facebook group with education. What's my promise? By the end of the 12 months, you're going to know exactly what your blood work says, exactly what's causing your gut symptoms. So you can stop wasting money on supplements that you don't need. Okay, now you have to take the money elsewhere. It's like take it on a Stripe, PayPal, whatever it is. And then once they pay you, you get to then share with them the link to the Facebook group. I guarantee you will make more in the long run from a paid Facebook group than making it free and exhausting yourself on it. Take your workshops, and that's every single time you run a workshop, you just get people inside that Facebook group. Every time you go on a podcast, say that you find a couple, there's got to be Polynesian specific podcasts out there. You're going to be a guest on them. You say, hey, I've got this Facebook group where I do all my trainings in. It's $47 a month. You can come join it. And now, say you get this Facebook group of 1,000 people, Polynesians that are it's like a community away from their family, which Polynesian culture, it's a big deal to have these communities, right? Maybe you get people like, hey, I'm going to this football game. Let's tailgate together. Like you can literally have so much fun with it and helping them connect with each other that then they're begging you, I want to keep working with you. What does it look like to get rid of my autoimmune disease? What does it look like to fix my bloating? What does it look like for me to, I'm sick and tired of being so sick after we have a family reunion and we eat all the delicious food because my stomach can't handle it. That Facebook group is now where you get to then make all your upsells. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, what do you say about just doing this one program like gut related versus bringing more programs? Like diabetes is very prevalent, high cholesterol very prevalent, like in the joint pain very prevalent. I mean, do I make different programs and keep asking them, and paying for specific programs? Like,
That's the beauty of running a virtual practice, is you can literally create whatever you want to create when you want to create it.
right. Okay.
We've got an individual in our silver program. She specializes in the Spanish culture, specifically diabetes, and she's starting to really take off with it. So if you want to take that route, if you want to do that as your one thing, that said, the diabetes in general is a saturated market, but if you dial into even like I'm helping the diabetic in the Polynesian culture, that's even better.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would build out that Facebook group so you have an audience sitting there to jump on whatever program you create in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Thank you so much.
Yep. Miss Kasey, you're next. You might be the last one. All right, Kasey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my health today.
As opposed to, I feel like there's a story to that.
There's a story to that. So I'm just manifesting health right now.
Good. So utilize your story to call on your audience. What is it that you're building?
So I'm trying to decide between ebook topics because I have one, but it's not really specific to anything. So I'm trying to narrow that down. Should I focus more on an ebook for just chronic illness, Lyme, or mold? Because I addressed them all. I have a 60-day program that I was actually too scared to really put out there because it wasn't perfect. My nutritionist runs, but I just launched it. 60-day hormone health for women program. And I have a 90-day program that is a metabolic primer for gut and immune issues. And then I have a 6-month. So I'm working on that. My main point of concern right now. Are you doing that right now? Oh, okay.
Yep.
You're putting it in your plug.
I'm going to create some ebook ideas for you as you keep going.
I am still taking these single sessions for people. And I feel like that is out of a scarcity mindset. I'm trying to get out of it. I'm really working on some of those core issues of why I feel like I need to compete with this local culture of single consults. But I wonder if I can leverage that single consult. South Carolina.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a whole thing behind that. But I do the single lab review consults and then kind of use that as an initial, see all these things that you need to do. It probably feels pretty overwhelming to try to figure all this out. How am I changing all these issues that led you to this immune issue or this stress response or whatever it is? And so a lot of times I can convert and lead people to my larger program, but there's still a lot of people who are just kind of wanting to do that one-off. So I was wondering, just kind of listening to you talk to Maya, I'm wondering if that could be the lower ticket thing that I just continue to maintain, or if I should scrap it altogether.
I love the idea of a paid Facebook group. My team will tell you I hate free ones. We try to start a free one. We just don't. We don't do free Facebook groups. The other thing with Facebook groups too, I should throw a caveat out here, is Facebook owns your Facebook group. So it's another good idea, Maya, as I just said, if you're already doing that content, to create a secret podcast, a paid podcast. Let me show you guys the platform to do that on. Okay, helloaudio.fm. This is a secret podcasting host where you can create podcast content and you can sell the podcast just as if you were selling the Facebook group. So you can have both places. This is something that you own. Okay, so if something were to happen to your Facebook group, you could then say, it's okay, I've got everything inside this podcast. And it acts like any other podcast. I have a few of them on here. We weren't consistent enough with it. But helloaudio.fm. Okay. Now, going back, Kasey, to what you said, there are a lot of different possibilities we can take with our businesses, which is why I love making sure that we target in on the one thing, realizing that that person who has the one problem is going to have multiple other problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think back to your favorite clientele, your favorite client, the one that you absolutely love to work with.
Oh, describe this person.
Yep. Tell me about this person.
Yeah. A mom, 30s to 40s. Has some awareness, but doesn't believe they have all the answers already.
Some awareness about what?
Awareness about that they have some issues that need to be addressed that are not just going to be addressed in a single lab consult. I really hate the single lab consult. Like, I just keep coming back to it. I hate it so much.
Okay, so your next 30-day program or Facebook group or free podcast, doesn't matter. So you're going to now remove those one-on-one lab consults. And I know how you feel because I did it in 21 and 22. And I despise them now because I would much rather teach 100 people how to read their labs than me read one person's labs at a time. Okay. That's where your Facebook group gets to come in. That's where your secret podcast gets to come into play. Heck, screw this. We know your audience. Your audience is the mom who keeps getting told her blood work is normal yet feels like crap.
She feels terrible. Yep. She's overwhelmed. She's tired. She can't be present for her children. She cries in my office. She's correct. She's malleable too. So she's willing to be coached in her mindset and her core beliefs that she's part of the issue. She's definitely not a type A person. She's not a type A. I'm going to bulldoze my way through this.
Those of you who use AI, or those of you who are interested in using it, you got to train AI first. And that's what I'm doing. You'll notice like I'm sitting here training AI. All right. So based upon, this is just simple stuff. I can suggest several ebook ideas that would resonate with this audience and serve as effective lead magnets. The Invisible Illness. Mom's Guide to Healing When Blood Tests Say You're Fine. Ooh, I like that. Balancing Art. Reclaiming Your Health While Juggling Family Life. That one's too broad.
Yeah.
Beyond the Numbers. Decoding Your Body's Signals When Doctors Can't.
I can do it all day, every day.
The Overwhelmed Mom's Roadmap to Sustainable Wellness. I don't like that one either. Healing for Two. How moms can recover their health and be there for their kids. Well, that one can kind of resonate. I like specifics. Beyond the Numbers. Decoding Your body signals when doctors can't. Or The Invisible Illness. A Mom's Guide to Healing When Blood Tests Say You're Fine.
Yeah, that's a different approach. I like that. Thank you.
And then everything you do, this could be free. This could be, $7, $17 or whatever. Want to make it. Whatever you do, this is the one thing that builds your email list. This is the one thing that can, maybe this guide then funnels into your call to action from this guide is, hey, I train every week inside my Facebook group. Maybe not every other week, because I hate being tied down to weeks even. I go live 3 or 4 times a month. Then that opens you. I go live 3 or 4 times a month inside my Facebook group. And on that, you can actually bring up your labs and your markers where I help you understand what your labs say, because there are nuances. There are patterns that I love to help make sure that you catch so you know exactly what to do about your health. Does that make sense, Kasey? Okay. So there's your 2 ideas. And then I would also add your own case studies in this. And the call to action would be join the paid podcast or Facebook group. Now your VIP one-on-one sessions become $10,000 if you even want to continue them. Kasey, can I give you a challenge? Set a date. After this date, you are no longer doing one-on-one calls. Okay. Now that could be a big benefit because you can then go to your audience and you can say, you know what, I'm shifting some things in my business. I want to be able to help more people at one time. So if you've ever thought about having a one-on-one call with me where I personally read over your blood work, now is the last chance you can do it. Boost in the sales, and then you get to move on to bigger, better things. Does that help?
Yeah. Still feels scary. I'm working on it. Well, my area is saturated with this like single session minded community. And then they're all the time like undercutting you publicly in Facebook. So it just feels really icky. And then you kind of feel pressure to keep up with that and maintain to compete. So I'm really working on some of that.
And if you go into the virtual space, you're no longer having to compete with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I will tell you, I went to school in Portland, Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, there is a naturopath on every corner. It is like the thing to do. You go to your naturopath, your chiropractor before you ever step foot in a primary care physician's office. Utah, very different story. We are like the very last, I'm desperate kind of person. But that's what the blood work did for me, is it cut through all that and allowed me to go virtual. Because now I'm no longer having to just adjust for income. In fact, I hardly ever did that. I bought this table that I had less than 100 adjustments on it. But when you go virtual, you no longer have to worry about the local mindset. You do have to worry about the trolls on the virtual platforms. That said, the trolls feed the algorithm. And if you don't have haters, you're doing it wrong. If you are afraid of haters, don't go to TikTok because they're ruthless on TikTok. Create those ebooks, expand your audience, and then you'll see like, oh, look at all these possibilities.
okay. I'll see you in the sprint.
Okay. Woohoo! See you guys.